Several years ago, the U.S. Endowment for Forestry and Communities created a new initiative called the Forest Investment Zones. Changes in the forest industry have been economically devastating to many forest-reliant communities around the country. The idea of the zones was to, from a regional basis, create new value chains that those communities could rebuild their economies. Value chains that both created new opportunity and were greener for the environment. In order to do that, we created zones in the Central Appalachia, in the Great Northern Forest of New England, and then in the dry forest zones of Eastern Oregon and Northern California. Some examples of the work going on in those zones are in New England, we've got the Model Neighborhoods Project. In that project, we have 40 new wood-based furnaces going into homes in Berlin, New Hampshire. The idea is to create a market so that the wood pellet truck can replace the fuel oil truck coming into the neighborhoods in New England. Another opportunity is the work in Central Appalachia, where the Appalachian Zone went out and interviewed users of certified wood products in the cities that surround Appalachia. The result was they found a disconnect between those people who are buying those certified wood products from the products manufacturers in Central Appalachia. They're now creating a mechanism to make that market and will stimulate new work for those industries in Appalachia that are making certified wood products. Third example would be in the dry forest zone. A new idea has emerged that's become a model for actual federal policy, and that is to work in collaborative groups in rural communities to have a discussion between the developers, the nonprofits, the city leadership, and the industries with the federal government and the U.S. Forest Service about the management of the national forests. Those communities are very dependent on public lands, so the idea is to, as the U.S. Forest Service begins to do fire suppression up in the national forests in that region, they can bring a lot of low-value wood materials and stimulate a new market based on those for biomass. Examples of what the zones are doing, there's much more going on. We expect much more will happen, but over the next 2 years we'll be evaluating that project and the impact of this regional approach.